Yo, 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 what is going on? Jeezy TV back with another classic movie review. This film damn near came out 30 years ago. Came out like 27 years ago. It is Friday. Features Ice Cube and one of the goofiest, silliest, most comical actors of all time, Chris Tucker. And obviously, I didn't get much of an introduction to Ice Cube. Great rapper, actor, he puts his hands in a lot of things. The Big Three, I think. I don't know if he started. Did he start the Big Three? I don't know. He was definitely a partner with him, but yeah. Um, let's go. This is a ride. This show is honestly a ride, or this movie is honestly a ride. I had a lot of fun watching it. You know, Craig Jones is the main character, played by Ice Cube. He's a recently fired and unemployed slacker living in South Central Los Angeles. Spends Fridays with his best friend Smokey, a small-time drug peddler, played, of course, by Chris Tucker. So this is a typical Friday. I don't know if this is a typical Friday evening. It's got a crazy aura to it. I don't know. I've never seen a movie like this before. It was so damn cool. They honestly should have made like a TV show for this. There's so many things that could possibly happen with the characters, with Debo. I guess the fact that Debo got his ass kicked kind of prevented a TV show from happening. Maybe there is a TV show. I don't think so. But yeah, the pair smoke a brokered consignment of marijuana, which Smokey was tasked to sell for Big Worm, Smokey's drug supplier. So he is smoking the stuff that he was supplied to sell. Kind of fucked up Smokey. Smokey is a fiend, by the way. This guy is just, my God. Um, Big Worm attempts to collect his money from Smokey, who accidentally involves Craig. He doesn't accidentally. I think Smokey was just trying to save his own ass throughout this film by. I know it's kind of silly to be doing a review for a comedy film, there's not like anything artistic or crazy about it. It's just very iconic. It's just an enjoyable watch. I mean, it's just a fun hour and a half. It's just full of funny shit, like funny characters with hilarious, I don't even know, demeanors. I just think it's funny, very lighthearted. It's obviously kind of inappropriate. Some things that happen, and nothing's too crazy in it, like explicit wise. It is. I would watch it with my family, but there's just cussing, I guess. But so subjecting both to Big Worm's ultimatum. If they don't pay $200 no later than 10 p.m. that evening, Craig and Smokey will be killed. Now this is where some seriousness occurs. You can't really take a film with Chris Tucker in it seriously, and that's in a good way because he's such a fun, comical relief type of actor. He plays his roles well. He has this niche that he really has went down his whole career, in the Rush Hour movies, and he does a great job at it. So credit to him. Craig attempts to borrow money from a number of people, including his mother, Betty, his sister, Dana, an abusive girlfriend, Joy, one of the most annoying characters, obviously. She's supposed to be like a hated character in the show, and they did a really good job of painting her kind of as that, whom the latter refuses under the assumption that Craig is being unfaithful with Felicia, a local drug addict. I don't know why he would be getting with Felicia. Have you seen her? I guess Debo liked her. All the little comical comedic touches in here, the music when Debo rolls up is so fucking hilarious to me. He's just this big bad wolf character in the show. He bullies everyone. I think it's just hilarious. The neighborhood boy is just hilarious to be in like a hood setting in Compton and have a guy that just goes around and bullies people. I think that's hilarious. Craig retrieves a gun to walk Smokey home, but his father, Willie, tells him that he needs to use his fists instead of weapons to help himself, and obviously that'll help him later on in the scene, because as you guys know, there's a very iconic moment between Debo and Craig, one of the craziest moments in 90s film. Iconic. Smokey sells some drugs to Hector, a former smoking buddy, while Debo, the neighborhood bully, forces Smokey to break into their neighbor's Stanley house to burglarize, in which they manage to steal $200 that Debo decides to keep for himself. Now, Stanley is this stubborn, stingy, like old head, very like classy neighbor. He drives like a really nice car. He's like, "Get off my yard." He has like a really nerdy voice. You can tell he doesn't really get outside very much. He's kind of like a recluse in the neighborhood. There's so many characters that are like you can't like relate to necessarily, but people like that. maybe not a crackhead like Ezell. I think that's hilarious. Ezell is one of the funniest fucking characters. But Smokey attempts to retrieve the money from Debo, who is asleep with Felicia at her house, but fails due to interference from Ezell, a petty thief. And he's like a crackhead. He's like, give me your money. Can you spare me $2? Can you buy me this? Can you do that? He's very adamant. He's very clingy on people. He hangs around the gas station. I think it's just... I mean, obviously it's fucked up to kind of portray a crackhead in a movie, really, but it is just hilarious. You can find some humor in it. Seeing Debo awake, Craig and Smokey notice a car driving slowly and suspecting a drive-by shooting, so maybe Big Worm already sent someone. They hide in Craig's room for the evening. After failing to contact Big Worm, and with 10 p.m. approaching, they return outside but are forced to evade Big Worm's men as they're sitting in a black van with its headlights on, starting a shootout. After the shootout, the neighbors come out of their house upon hearing the gunshots, so this is where every character in the film, kind of comes together. Let's see. Debbie confronts Debo for beating Felicia, assuming Felicia was behind Smokey's attempted theft. And by the way, Debo doesn't give a fuck if you're male or female. He's going to beat your ass. That's kind of his thing. As Craig and Smokey arrive, Debo angrily punches Debbie, knocking her to the ground, leading to a physical altercation between him and Craig, with Craig being victorious. Again, one of the most iconic fight scenes in a movie ever, and it's a comedy film. I mean, how do you do that? That's amazing. Craig really likes Debbie. He's been crushing on her throughout the show. I'm not touching on every little detail. I'm kind of just giving you guys a rundown on what the show's about. There's so many funny scenes. Just go watch it. Miss Parker and her midget husband is so funny. The preacher going in and having sex with her, and the midget finding out, throwing her clothes on the lawn. It was just such a funny movie. I can't believe I waited this long to watch it. Let's see. Smokey steals the $200 from the incapacitated Debo to use to pay Big Worm. Other locals such as Red and Ezell retrieve their stolen items. Now Red, oh my god, he looks so familiar. I cannot tell you who played him. He got his chain snatched. He's kind of a wimp. The way he runs, the way he moves. He worked for the same company that Craig worked for a while, so yeah, another really good character on the show. And even the side characters get their moments. Let's see. Debbie attends to Craig's wounds, leading him to break up with Joy on the phone, while his father informs his former supervisor called, wanting him in the following day. So yeah, Craig's going to be working again, and he has Debbie, so obviously he wins at the end of the day. Smokey settles his debt with Big Worm, telling him he will no longer sell drugs and is set to enter rehabilitation. Good move by Smokey. Smokey then smokes a joint and ends the move by looking at the camera and saying, "I was just bullshitting, and you know this, man." I mean, the way Chris Tucker says stuff in this film, I mean, it is his personality. He's not even acting here. Like, this is how Chris Tucker is, and we know this. Let's see. I would say it's a high 7 out of 10 film. Some people think it's like a mid 6 out of 10. Let's see. What Friday might lack in tout construction or directorial flair, it more than makes up with its vibrant, albeit consistently crass humor and the charming, energetic performances of its leads. Mixed or average views for this film. A lot of people are saying it's like a mid 5 out of 10. Like, I don't know why we're criticizing a comedy film. It's supposed to be lighthearted. It's supposed to be something you sit back with your family and kind of enjoy and laugh at. I don't understand the appeal behind this. I mean, I probably shouldn't have even mentioned this in the first place. It's just too iconic of a film for me to really hate on at all. I don't see any weaknesses in the film. It does what it's supposed to do. It's a comedy film. Like, people need to, again, just keep that in mind. I mean, as you watch the film, you're not going to get action sequences. You're not going to even get any crazy, like, directorial shots or anything in this. It's just entertainment is what I'm going to call it. That's going to do it, though. I'm going to go prepare myself for work. I will be seeing you guys